Alright, so I started taking apart the Talion here. I just want to show you a couple things here. Now, I raced with this quite a bit, like I said before. And I would clean this, take it apart, I don't know, every 3 or 4 races, something like that. I just want to show you how bad these differential housings get when you're not servicing them. And again, I haven't done this in a while, so I just wanted to kind of show you. Nothing's destroyed. I just wanted to show you how bad they get. Yeah, man. I mean, that's lots of dirt, grime, all that crap's getting in there. Um, which is why you have to take these things apart from time to time and clean them up. Now, if you're just bashing and you're not running on a racetrack with, a whole bunch of like loose dirt and stuff like that, you're probably not going to have to get into it as much as what I do here. It doesn't take long, especially when everything's already in there. And the reason that you want to do this anyway is you want to make sure that you get to your bearings, and you can save these if they're savable, which looks like this one over here might have the sheathing coming out, or it could be a shim. I need to look at it. If not, you need to replace them. Basically, you can take some 3-in-1 oil and kind of refresh them for a while, or put a little bit of grease in there. I know people do different stuff here, but basically we're going to pull this out, clean everything up, replace the fluids inside here, clean the housing up. Here's the top part of that housing there. So yeah, it's pretty nasty, not gonna lie. And we'll get the front part out, which is easier to get to here. Basically you take 1, 2, 3, 4 screws off of there, 2 screws for the sway bar, and I usually just pop a screw off over here or whatever, because it's easy to put the sway bar back on. Then that way it's all out of the way. And then you could just pop this side out too. So they're super easy to get to. The only one is not really easy to get to, which is still not that hard, is the center. I mean, as you can see, there's a little bit of work involved there getting to that, but it's not even as hard as what it looks, really. These trucks are made to take apart, and I would definitely remember that when you're doing things like this. So before we get into doing this here, I'm going to pop that top cover, or the front cover here, and I'll show you what that one usually looks like too. Okay, so this is different here. This is the rear, that's the front. So the front actually looks a lot better than the rear. I'm surprised. Usually the front has a lot more grime and stuff in it than the rear. It still even has some of the grease that I packed it with here, that marine grease I like using. That's a good sign. That means that I've got my seals and shims and stuff in there pretty good, so it's kind of blocking everything out. Yeah, I kind of like that. I'm really kind of surprised though, because every time I've tore it apart before in the past, I'm pretty sure the front was always worse. But yeah, anyway, we're going to go ahead and get this out, get the rear out, and then we'll start going through what I'm going to put in here. Yeah, so let's get these out first. Alright, so I got everything somewhat cleaned up here. Doesn't have to be 100% perfect, guys. Kind of letting whatever will come out of here out. I had a silicone air plug shoved in there at one point. Found some remnants of that there. I still got to clean up the outside. Got to oil these bearings up here a little bit. And the way that I do this is I just take the sheath loose on the top there. This one here doesn't have the sheath, so I think I can get behind it by putting a little drops in there. But basically what I'll do is I'll put drops on the top here, and it'll filter through, and I'll just kind of run it around until I feel like it's getting a little smoother. That should be plenty to re-oil these bearings. Now if that doesn't work, you'll have to replace them. You just got to kind of decide whether they need replacing or not. I got some nitromethane here that I'm letting everything set in here. That's what I use to clean everything with. As you can see, that's the front cover. This is the rear cover. It doesn't get everything off, but I'm okay with that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start looking at our fluids here. So let me get all that together. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do for fluids. So 100K is probably going to go in the center diff, and 20K in the rear, 10 in the front. Ideally I'd like to have like 15 in front and rear, but I don't have any more 15, so I'm going to put 10 in the front, 20 in the rear, 100 in the center. So And basically all you do here, guys, is you just, for anybody that don't know, you just turn this upside down. You want to fill it up pretty good, but you got to remember there's a crown gear in here too, or sun gear, or whatever they call that. So when you're putting your 20 weight in there, just kind of show you here. When you put it in, you don't want to fill it so full that you don't have room for that other gear. So you just kind of glob it in there a little bit. And then let it rest for a second. And you want to work it in from the bottom here. So I'll hold the bottom there and see if I can get it to turn. See how the center's turned there? So once I set the camera down, I'm going to do that myself and work it in real good. And then I'm going to get my level. Then I might put a little bit more in here for these sides. Just a tiny bit. And then I should have plenty of room for the gear there without having any squish come out. Which I don't really care if you get some squish out, but you don't ideally want that because this one here does not have a seal on it. I don't know if it ever came with one or not, but it doesn't have one on there now. It doesn't look like it had one on there for quite some time, so I'm just going to put it back together the way it is. If it leaks out, it leaks out. I got other ones to replace it with, so that's just what we're going to try right now. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to finish doing the rest of the 20K here in the rear, get it together, then we'll put it back together, slap it in the truck here. I'll show you what that's all about. And then I'll do the other ones off camera because there's no real reason to show you those. They're all the same exact process. Center differential is a little bit different to get to. Kind of show you here. So there's some bolts underneath there that you got to take out. And then basically you just take this whole little module out here and your motor and everything will pop out with it. And then you take apart, I think there's some screws on the top here. And you take this plastic cover off and then it should separate and you got the center differential right there. So it's just a little bit different. It's not difficult. There's no sense in showing all these processes here. They're pretty much exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you one, get everything back together, clean it up a little bit more, and then we'll hopefully get it out and see what she did. See if it did any improvement, if we did anything worse or whatever. I'm also going to look at these pellet balls too. I do not like these things. I never have liked them, but I don't know if there's anything I can really do with them right now. And I need to really get some better hubs here, or whatever these are called, hexes or whatever. I do not like how thin those are. I've always hated that. I want something at least double that thickness. Because if you look on a normal tire, they're pretty thick in there. Some of these tires do have the thin, but it'll work on both. You know what I mean? I think that, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just, kind of old school, whatever. I just feel more comfortable if I had more meat there to, on the thickness there, to grab onto. I mean, I haven't really had any problems out of this truck, so I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of overthinking it. I don't know. Still got to finish cleaning out a little bit in there. And what I'm going to do inside there is drop some 3-in-1 oil or this liquid wrench lubricating. I'm probably going to use a 3-in-1. I like this stuff. And same process of just bring it in there, and then I'll work that input gear or whatever that's called, input, output, whatever hell it is, same thing, ring and pinion, whatever. I'll work that so the bearing gets worked back and forth, and it'll work in some of that oil, and I'll kind of turn it up like this when I do that. That way it can work itself down in the bearing. So, alright, so we got the differential put back together, put it back in here, put the shim on this side here with the gear on this side, the way it came out. Put our sway bar back on, tighten down our sway bar nut over here, and put the sway bar cover back on. Easy peasy, guys. Now I'm going to do is put the wing back on here. And again, I still got to clean all this stuff here. I'll be doing that later. And then move on to the front. And then we'll take out the rear. So the front, I haven't even taken it out yet, cleaned it up, done anything with it. So yeah, it's the same exact process as the rear. So just so you know, there's nothing different that you can do. And another thing too is kind of be mindful of the way that you take these out. See how the ring or the I guess it's a ring gear, whatever the hell they call it. That big gear right there is on this side, and it looks like the shim is over here as well, just like it was in the rear. So keep that in mind. That's the way it wants to go in and come out. So that's just how it is. Make sure that you pay attention to the way that they go in, the way that they come out. All right, so we got the differential in the rear. We got the center differential done and the front as well. I also took the motor out here, took the stator out of it, checked the bearings inside there because I noticed a little bit of restriction. So went ahead and changed the bearing on the front here. The one on the bottom was actually really good. Nice and free, rolled real well, so I didn't worry about it. I greased it up a little bit, and hopefully that's enough. All right, we're gonna see what she's got here in the yard here. Just fixed up the differentials. Let's see how good she goes on the hill here. All right. Okay. Much more lively than the other day, so definitely needed some diff work, guys. And there you have it, guys. One hell of a beast. So, like I said, this is my favorite Arma. You now see why. Needed a little bit of attention. I feel like I've actually got it squared away now. I didn't realize the differentials were that bad, but you know, it is what it is. You live and you learn, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with the truck. I think I'm going to keep these meaty looking tires on here, try them out for a little bit. Couldn't find my back flips that I had. Maybe I sold them. I can't remember. But I do have these meaty ones, and I have a set of chunky on-road tires. Some kind of Pro Line, something or another. I can't remember what they are. We'll figure out some tires for it. I'm not too worried about it. But I just wanted to show you real quickly how this thing's supposed to run. No speed meters, anything like that. It's not set up for that right now. But as you can see, she'll roll pretty good. It's already running better than what we did the other day at the school. So I think we've got a lot of the grit and stuff out of there. So all the restrictions are gone. Differentials are tightened back up now. So should run a lot better. Should run a lot better. And I'm going to get this thing out more. Like I said, I kind of haven't raced in a really long time. So I don't foresee myself going back to it, at least with this vehicle. So I'm just going to kind of set it up for, you know, all around bashing, and you know, if I want to change it back, I always can. So appreciate everybody watching. Yeah, I'm blown away. Arma Talion for the win every time. Here we go again.